So we're gonna do a series about ways to use a good pork shoulder. So I personally think a good pork shoulder is one of the most versatile things you can get. They're relatively inexpensive, and I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna do a series of videos about a few different ways to use it after it's been cooked. So right now, all we're gonna do is very simple preparation. We're just gonna season this pork shoulder, and then I'll show you what we do with it. It's a very basic seasoning. Basically, all we're gonna use is some salt and some garlic powder. I'm gonna use a lot of salt. We've got a lot of surface area here, so it's gonna look like a lot, and it is. The other thing that I'd imagine most of you don't have, but if you get a chance to get this, it's Kahlua pork salt. It's made in Hawaii, and it's basically just a salt that I think has been smoked. I still have some here, so I'm gonna use it, and only got a little bit, so the rest will do regular salt, and that's most likely what you'll use at home. I like to get it on all sides, so I always try to use one hand for the seasoning, the other for the flipping and rubbing in. So we've seasoned the pork shoulder with some basic kosher salt, and what you're gonna find out through my videos is anytime we look to brown a piece of meat, I'm a firm believer that it should be as dry as possible. So if you look at this, all that salt in this has kind of started to pull out some moisture. So it's going to be a really simple process. Just get some paper towels and dry it off thoroughly. Now we've got a good dry surface to build a little bit better crust when we throw this on the heat. You can brown your pork shoulder any way you want. I'm gonna do it on my flat top grill, and I'll tell you, this is my favorite thing to cook on. If you don't have a flat top grill, how else could you do this? Any way you want. You could do it in a frying pan. It'd be better off even in a cast iron pan. You could do it on your regular grill. You could smoke it. In fact, our last one we did on the smoker, and it turned out really good. So any way you can get a tremendous amount of heat. You could even throw your cast iron pan on your regular charcoal grill. Either way, you're gonna get a great product. My favorite is my flat top grill. Look at the heat that puts out. I am a big fan of these flat top grills. In fact, after getting this one, this would be my #1 recommendation for you as a cook. If you're a home cook, or a chef or anything and really like cooking, get yourself a flat top grill. They're great. So we're gonna oil this up just a little bit. Spread our oil around. Even though our pork shoulder is gonna have a lot of fat in it, we still wanna oil this up a little bit because we're really aiming to get a good solid crust. And I'm gonna go meat side down first because I want that hard crust on that meat side. Push it down and leave it alone. Do not touch this, do not move it for a few minutes until we finally will end up taking a peek, and we wanna see it really brown, really crusty. So our pork shoulder's been on here for a few minutes, good and hot. Let's take a little peek and see how we're looking. That's exactly what we want to see. I want this to look like it's just about to burn. That's when I typically turn it. Look at it right here, look at that crust. That is what we want, that crust right there. Now we're gonna leave it on the other side and do the same thing for about 3 or 4 more minutes. It's important to remember when you're searing a pork shoulder that a pork shoulder doesn't have 2 sides, it has 6. Make sure you put a good sear on every side. You've got the top and bottom. You might have to sit here and hold it with your tongs. Sometimes they'll sit, sometimes they won't. But we want to get a good crust on all 6 sides. So we've got a pretty good crust on this on all sides. We're gonna pull it off the flat top, put it in our pan, we'll take it in and we'll throw it in the crock pot. So the roast is gonna go in the crock pot on low setting. And I am gonna put any drippings, any seasoning in there. Here's where I'm gonna do things a little bit different. I know a lot of people would now put veggies, they would put stock, they would put everything. I'm not gonna put anything in that crock pot with that roast. I believe it's fatty enough that it gives up enough juices and enough moisture that you don't need it. And don't knock it till you've tried it. You'll see here at the end. So we're gonna let this sit for about 8 hours. Okay, so our pork should be done. It's been in the crock pot all day. You come in, take a look, and remember, we added no liquid to this roast. We just let it go, and look at all that liquid in there. That's all rich, condensed flavor at this point. Now, a lot of you already know it. The trick to know if this is done, come on in, is we grab that bone. Look how effortless that bone comes out. That is ready to go. And we're gonna set that aside for a minute. And watch, look at this. Look at that tear apart. But look at how this pulls apart. When it's pulling apart like that, and I'm leaving all the liquid in, when it pulls apart like that, that pork is done.